Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gucci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Wednesday hump day, coming to you live from Chop Studios now. Okay, we settled with the landlord, and we're back in New York City. It was we were in the basement yesterday. It was weird. It was just a weird situation.
We got an upgrade. Now we are in the penthouse suite. We were like 8 floors higher than we were last week.
I mean, the Empire State Building is right there, guys. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well out there. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gucci, of course, coming to you live, like I said before, from Chop Studios. What do you got? You got yesterday's paper? Yesterday's paper is not today's paper, bro. Just like yesterday's price is not today's price.
Just like Ben Stiller is not Ben Affleck.
That's a joke for another day. Anyway, lots to get into today because a lot of more movement on the Mojo market in particular, and of course the NFL free agency frenzy rolls on. Day 2, I feel like, was even more exciting than day 1, maybe because as a Cowboy guy, we actually did something. We actually kind of poked them. It's like, do something, and we did something. So we'll get into all that.
Washed.
Who?
No, I'm kidding.
Stop it.
Trying to get Dave going.
Don't even try to get me going. But we'll start in the NFL. And, of course, yesterday's big splash was, in fact, a trade between the New York Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders because nobody expected this. Nobody saw it coming. You look at the Giants roster up and down. They got to start stacking Danny Dimes with some weapons, receivers-wise. They re-signed Sterling Shepard. They haven't really done anything else outside of that. But now the splashdown with Darren Waller. Do you think there's something left over there? Because according to the Mojo Market, as soon as he was traded from Jimmy G to Daniel Jones, his stock went up 6%. So the market's dictating that Daniel Jones is the better option. Maybe the Giants might be the better offense. I find that hard to believe considering.
I don't know about that. Just because when have the Giants had a tight end succeed in the last decade? I know.
How long ago was Jeremy Shockey?
I know that Jimmy G's been through to his tight end. You know, Kittle's been decent. I know Kittle's a better player considerably than any tight end the Giants have had. I'm not going to really go into that because I guess it's a different system. The Giants didn't use a tight end much last year, but they only used Saquon really last year out of the backfield. I guarantee Saquon still leads the team in receptions as of right now unless they add another piece.
I want to say that the Giants here do make out like bandits. The price tag is a little high. I believe he's guaranteed like $16, $17 million this year, so the Giants have to pay that. But the compensation to get him, they turned the Kadarius Toney third-round pick that they got into this. So essentially, you have Kadarius Toney traded for Darren Waller. Would you do that?
Absolutely not. I think it's a
before you saw what Toney could do with the Chiefs. Would you have done that?
No, because I kind of believed that that's what Kadarius Toney was going to do with the Chiefs. If you go back and watch the episodes, I said, ooh, that's a really nice fit. They were in on him in the draft process. They didn't land him, and they wanted him in the offseason. They tried to trade for him. They landed him at the deadline. I don't think that was the smart move for the Giants. Kadarius Toney would instantly become the most talented receiver on that team
now.
Yeah, and if Kadarius Toney was entering the draft this year, Kadarius Toney, rookie season, Kadarius Toney entering the draft this year, you could make the case that he might be the second receiver picked.
Yeah,
in this draft class.
Maybe. I mean, the jury's still out. We'll find out more about Kadarius Toney. Obviously, yes, he scores in the Super Bowl, right? And he wins himself a Super Bowl as soon as he gets over there. Still has to remove that tattoo.
The jury is still out for sure, but what we've seen out of Darren Waller was 1 or 2 good seasons, and now he's played 20 games over the last 2. Now, Kadarius Toney, you can make the same case, but there's not the price tag on Kadarius Toney. So I think you're going to probably get the same amount of receptions, maybe give the same targets to the 2 players, because I don't think Toney is going to be the guy that's going to come in and get 10, 12, 14 receptions a game. He's more of a gadget guy. He's going to make big plays for you, but I don't think he's going to be the grinder that you would.
I don't know. I said the same thing about Tyreek Hill. He's a one-trick pony. He turned out to be one of the better receivers in football.
Tyreek Hill is. There's a little bit of a difference. Tyreek Hill wasn't that in the beginning. It took him years to get to that point. He's now in year 6, 7 or something like that. So, that's just a different breed.
So Darren Waller is the 14th highest tight end on the Mojo market right now. He sits behind Noah Fant, and he's right in front of David Njoku, if you want to give yourself a comparison of where he sits. The actual thing that I wanted to bring up in this trade is that the market value for this guy on the Mojo market is just another 84 cents in future value. Just 84 cents. So it's just like, are they saying that, like, yeah, cool, nice little role player here?
Up 6%?
Yeah.
Where was he at before?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I'm again, the Waller trade does dividends, and I'll pull up the app now just for clarification purposes. But like I said, this is what everything that I was watching or looking at yesterday.
He was also married on Saturday to Las Vegas ace Kelsey Plum.
So now he has to leave
the week after his wedding. Do you know who Kelsey Plum is?
I do not.
Do you remember the video from the Spurs game where there was the girl that?
I'm sorry. There's $2.13 in future value.
That makes
he
more
averages
sense.
84 cents a year.
So,
sorry, but even that, it looks like 2 years.
She was the girl that has the lefty cannon that was throwing T-shirts into the crowd at the Spurs game a couple years back.
Oh, really?
You know
he
the
married
video?
her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, now they got to either relocate to New York or whatever. Actually, now that I'm on the app, big bet alert. Let me just big bet alert, right? Another $2,200 placed on Mr. Jordan Love with his 2-time multiplier that his stock's going to raise over time. Obviously, there's more. Ooh, another big bet alert on Cortland Sutton. There's rumors about Judy could be on the move. We'll see, but he's got a 5-time multiplier over there on Mojo, so that's interesting. But that's Darren Waller.
Well, I would take
segue over
Sutton.
to what?
I'll take either one of those receivers actually, but I'd rather Cortland Sutton.
I would rather Cortland Sutton too. I would take Tim Patrick over Jerry Judy right now.
No.
Yes, because you want to talk about a one-trick pony.
No.
Judy hasn't shown me anything in the first couple years. Anything.
You're nuts. I think you're wrong on that one. I think Jerry Judy, outside of the ankle sprains, Jerry Judy's a solid receiver. Very good route runner, sure-handed.
The Raiders weren't done with the Darren Waller trade. Right before that, Jacoby Myers, who, by the way, is on record has thrown as many game-winning touchdown passes to the Raiders as Derek Carr last year. Because Jacoby Myers was on the receiving end of that atrocious play where he threw the ball backwards, picked off to the house, game over, Patriots lose. He is now a New England Patriot. He's reunited with Jimmy G. Huh?
Yes.
What did I say?
You said he's a Patriot.
And you said Ben Affleck before, right? So, fine. He's a Raider. He's reunited with Josh McDaniels. He's reunited with Jimmy G. Well, no, I don't think it was he never played with Jimmy G. But all of a sudden, just with this move, he's up about a 1% leap, not much. Do you think, what are your expectations for Jacoby Myers now that he doesn't have to be the one? Because over in New England, I feel like pressure was on to be the number one. Now you're stacked up with Devontae Adams. I feel like this is going to open some stuff up for him, though. Talented dude.
So Jimmy G averages 11 passes attempts per game over
his
career.
I think that's going to change.
Good luck with it because he can only throw the ball 22 yards downfield accurately. I'm not buying in on any receiver on the Raiders that's not named Devontae because he's going to get the lion's share of the targets. Yeah. Jimmy G and the Raiders, they're not seemingly going to be a team that's going to throw the ball a lot next year. I just can't see it happening. Josh McDaniels, I don't know what he's doing. I hate to say this because I have a couple of really good friends that are Raiders fans, and I kind of pull for the Raiders.
They're not happy
in a lot of ways. The Raiders are a wreck right now. Their fan base has no clue. Josh Jacobs said, "This shit's sad, man." Excuse my language, but he said it. Even he bleeped it out. I didn't, but it is. It's a little bit sad. You look around on offense and you're like, okay, well, at least we got some players. A tale of two off seasons. Last year at this time, we were talking about the Raiders were in on almost everybody. They were making Chandler Jones trades. I remember making graphics for the Daily Show last year, and it was Chandler Jones, then it was Devontae, then it was
the Raiders were all in last year, and they realized it didn't work. And was Derek Carr the problem? We're about to find out because is Jimmy G Derek Carr adjacent?
What did Derek Carr get?
Yeah, I don't know. Too much.
35 mil?
Yes,
right?
Per year. Yeah.
What did Jimmy G get?
About the same thing.
Less, but
little less.
But
comparable. You telling me you couldn't? Therefore,
you blew it all. You blew it all up.
They didn't like.
You blew it all up for that. It's not like you blow it up in that when you have a veteran quarterback.
Trading Waller is blowing it all up.
No. You blew it up when you got rid of Derek Carr.
Oh, that's true too.
You blew it all the way up. All right. You blew it up when you got rid of Derek Carr, and then you bring in Jimmy G, and it's like now you just have a stopgap. It's like you already had a pretty good stopgap. I don't know what you broke. Now you have your entire offense in flux because you have people that are angry. And I know, you see Devontae's tweet yesterday?
I saw him the other day.
He was mad, and it was but it wasn't mad about the Jimmy G thing. He clarified it. He said, bro, it was my phone was dry for 3 weeks, and now all of a sudden everybody that I haven't spoken to is hitting me up trying to get the scoop. And he said, that's annoying. And
Paraphrase on that one.
I did paraphrase on that one. I edited that one myself. And it was basically, then he said, "Let's get this money, Jimmy."
Yeah, I saw that part.
Devontae, you're getting your money. Jimmy's getting his.
Yeah, that's all you're getting really is money.
stats.
Speaking of money, came out yesterday in a tweet by Lamar Jackson himself that Lamar Jackson debunked the whole "I turned down $200 million," and he said, "No, this was what it was. It was 3 years, $133 million guaranteed he turned down." Smart of him to do that. I mean, look, this is agentless Lamar Jackson, and everybody's been saying that things could get done a lot quicker and better if you had an agent. He doesn't have an agent. That's why we're still here.
So, two things. One, at first glance, it was like, what was Lamar crazy turning that down? And then I did the long division, and I found out that it's like Kirk Cousins' money from 3 years ago. No, that's not a good deal for Lamar. And then Lamar made the funny joke. I wasn't going to say that. He made the joke that he needs, but I need an agent. And it's like, yeah, you do. If that's the best deal that you got, that's not that great. And if you didn't get $200 million, like they were saying, and if you did turn that down, then you also would need an agent because they would be like, "Don't turn that down, Lamar." So yeah, I don't buy it.
I got a theory of why, and I told you in pre as to why Lamar Jackson put the number out there officially. Because Lamar Jackson is trying to get every red cent of his next deal without an agent. But now that he's finally realizing that it's going to take an agent to get something actually done in his favor, he's going to tell the agent. Now, if this agent comes in there and says, "Hey, Lamar, I got you $200 million guaranteed, just like they said you turned down." No, I got it. It's right here. It's on this contract. Go for it. And he's going to be like, "Yeah, damn right. Good job, buddy. Signed." But agent guy, I already got 133 on my own. You're only going to get a percentage of the 68 that you just got me. That's what's going to happen. So he's going to try to nickel and dime his agency just to get that extra money and not have to pay his agent the extra money.
I don't think that's the case because I don't think that he needs to publicly tweet that to have that conversation. If he's sitting there and he's about to hire an agent, he could just be like, "Hey, this is what I got offered. If you get me this," and then it could stay out of the news. Maybe you're right, but that would be another reason why I would say you need an agent, Lamar, because the agent would tell you don't do that.
I just think
you understand what I'm saying.
100%. Now, look, I'm not going to say that the kid's not talented, but I have to say this: there's got to be some kind of personality trait that people just don't like about this kid. He might not be a likable, coachable guy, and that's why this stuff hasn't happened yet.
I don't know that would be.
If the Ravens were in on him, they would have signed him already. They would have said, "You know what? The hell with all this crap. We're going to give you what you want. You are the franchise guy. We don't have another option."
Put it this way: if the Ravens offered him 3 years, 133, that's pretty in on him. You know what I mean? Like that's
fully guaranteed,
but fully guaranteed. So it's like I'm gonna dismiss the notion that they have problems with him or he's not coachable. I think down the stretch with the contract situation, you may have seen Lamar. Maybe some execs may think that he milked it and didn't play hard because he was waiting to get his contract. You can make that case more so, I think, but I don't think that it's a coachable thing because there's no one like in cahoots with the Ravens. They're saying like, "Yo, guys, he's hard to coach." And like if the Ravens were saying that around the league, then wouldn't teams just be like, "Yeah, but you're just trying to drive the price down so you could sign him cheaper." And then in theory, you don't really want to drive the price down because if you want to trade him, you want the price as high as possible. I think at the end of it, there's a split in the Ravens building, and that's the issue. It's like there's infighting amongst the execs and the front office on what they want to do with Lamar. And
it could be a coaching thing. John Harbaugh could probably say, "I love this kid, get it done," right? And then GM's like,
I can promise you John Harbaugh wants Lamar.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
His ass is on the line, too,
He doesn't want to throw the ball.
That's what I'm saying. Speaking of one of the greatest, I like my segues. Speaking of one of the greatest to ever throw the football, Aaron Rodgers. Is it Aaron Rodgers Day today? I think it is. Because at 1 o'clock, come one, come all, the invitation has been sent out like a wedding. And there is going to be a sit-down between Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee at 1 o'clock Eastern today, where he's probably going to announce that he's going to the New York Jets. That's my assumption. I don't think he's going to say like, "Hey, amidst all the stuff that we talked about already, I'm done with football." I don't think he walks away from the game at all.
It would be hilarious
for
if
who?
it did happen for me. I would laugh.
Would you?
Yeah. It would not.
You just said it's yesterday. It was detrimental more if the guy retires.
Of course, but I think it would be hilarious.
It would be on brand with the Jets.
It would be hilarious. It wouldn't. I wouldn't be thrilled about it. I would be most thrilled with a trade happening and finally going through. I would be least thrilled with Aaron Rodgers staying with the Packers this year. I'd be secondary thrilled with him retiring. Like I think because of the Jets kicking the can down the road as far as they have with the Aaron Rodgers situation, the Packers right now, if Aaron Rodgers does not agree to something before the free agency period
Are
actually
the Jets
starts,
kicking the can down the road?
100%.
Because maybe they've offered everything they could possibly offer, and he's the one that has to make the decision.
But then they're going out and signing all these guys for a guy that could end up turning around
Aaron
today
Rodgers.
and saying no. Then there's no way that they're signing Lazard to a 4-year, $44 million deal without the presence of Aaron Rodgers. That's just not happening. And if that's the case, I understand that the tampering period did not end yet. So when free agency starts, Rodgers said that he was not going to drag this out into free agency. I think the tampering period is free agency. So
100%
I think he did already. So he went against his word. We're waiting on Rodgers. The Packers and the Jets are at a standstill because of it, as always, right? So now whatever deal was in place parameter-wise, if I'm the Packers, I would say, look, 4 o'clock, that deal changes. If 4 o'clock hits and we are not allowed to make moves and we don't know what we're doing, if it was a second-round pick, now it's a first. If it was a first, you have to throw in a third now. Otherwise, what?
Does the Lazard deal blow up too?
If Rodgers retires,
official.
Rodgers retires before the tampering period, then yes, 100%. And I can almost guarantee you that the Jets are like, well, Lazard, if it's 4:10 and we still don't have a decision on Aaron Rodgers, we're waiting. We're not going to make this official at 4. We're making it official at 4:31 when Rodgers tells us, because they're gonna void to back out of that deal if Rodgers ends up retiring. Now, secondary to that, because the Jets have gone so far down the road, right, and they're signing these guys, now they played their hand. Jimmy G is gone. Derek Carr is gone. Mike White's gone. Name me a quarterback that the Jets fans would be comfortable with as QB1 next year, not named Aaron Rodgers. And then you could sit here and talk about Lamar, but that's a whole nother saga and draft picks that you're going to have to give up, plus more money, right?
Yeah.
If the Jets don't have Aaron Rodgers as QB1 next year, it's going to be an explosion in the fan base, right? The entire offseason up to this point was been surrounding around simping out to get Aaron Rodgers. If it doesn't work out, at 4 o'clock, I'm asking for more because the Jets have no choice at that point. The Packers, they're going to lose money this year regardless, right?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, yeah.
And the worst case scenario is Rodgers sticks around and plays. I don't think Rodgers does that in Green Bay. I think if the Packers are like, no, we need more, he's just going to retire.
Interesting.
So Jordan Love season, let's go.
Yeah, he did put out a wish list. He wanted Al Lazard, Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, and surprisingly enough, he wanted Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know what if it's going to take to get Odell over there, but now that you signed Lazard to the $44 million deal, you're not getting everything you want. He's like, here's what I want. Do what you can with it. But I mean, like, have you again? Great quarterback, one of the best, moonwalking into Hall of Fame, one of the best ever. What an egotistical maniac.
I also don't know. I don't know that this is a real thing, though. Like, we have no idea that Rodgers went to the Jets and said, guys, do this, 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 and this. The Jets may just see, we know what Rodgers wanted from them. We're just going to go out and do it for him out of the gate.
That's a fair assessment.
Because the media does these things. You know that.
Yeah. Anyway, so other moves that were made yesterday in quickly. We talked about yesterday that running backs don't matter. The Lions beg to differ. They signed David Montgomery to a 3-year deal. They want him over there, which probably means the end of a Jamal Williams officially. So we'll see what kind of market Jamal Williams has.
Look at the deal, though.
Huh?
Look at how weak the deal is.
Yeah, it wasn't much. A 3-year deal. I think he was making $6 a year. So I think it's like $18 or $20 million a year for the whole thing. Not a lot. But the Lions obviously committed to running the football and getting now DeAndre Swift. What happens to his stock? I mean, like, all of a sudden DeAndre Swift is not. I don't want to say out by any stretch.
No, Jamal Williams is gone.
No, I'm sorry, DeAndre Swift. His stock, where does he lack the carries? Are we worried about timeshare there. So that's something to just keep
I
your
would
mind
say
on.
I would say Montgomery was brought in to be this year's version of Jamal Williams, as Jamal Williams probably gets paid somewhere else.
Right.
A little bit.
The Dallas Cowboys made a couple free agency splashes with their own guys. At first, Donovan Wilson re-signs. He's a safety. He joins Malik Hooker and that safety crew. The big splash that the Cowboys had yesterday was on the defensive side of the ball. They traded a 5th-round comp pick for a Stephon Gilmore from the Colts. The Colts are in a little bit of a fire sale mode right now because as soon as this trade went down, like 10 minutes later, they cut Matt Ryan. So like they're literally just well aware he wasn't going to be the starter anyway, but at least maybe keep him around to mold the next guy. There's like, nah, we don't need it, fam. Sorry, and he's gone too. So they're starting to save some money over there. Stephon Gilmore.
I would be like, hey, leave me alone, Matt.
It's just like you're annoying, bro. Yeah, right. Like, dude, you're not good. Go away. Bradberry re-signs with the Eagles. That's a big move for them. I don't particularly think Bradberry is all that and a bag of potato chips, but I do think that
I like Bradberry.
I know
He's
you
a
like Bradberry.
very good player.
But in any event, that is our NFL catch-up there. Stephon Gilmore to the Cowboys, Bradberry to the Eagles, and of course, Darius Slay staying in Philly. But there was an early report that got debunked. It was kind of funny, though, that the Eagles called the Cowboys and said, you want Slay? And they're like, nah, we're good. Like, that got debunked. But the permission to seek trade, that's due diligence. That's them asking the Cowboys, you want him? No? All right, cool. How about you, Giants? You want him? You know what I mean? Like, they're literally going around. He's going around shopping himself. But anyway, over to the NBA real quick as we move on into this whole thing. So, look, when I looked at the Knicks over the last couple days, I was worried about them having a little bit of a slip up to the point where, you know, it was going to get like a free fall, right? And it didn't happen. Luckily, they go 2-2 on the road. The West Coast trip 2-2. They get another big win yesterday, 123-107. Dame Time drops 38 in the loss, so he had himself a hell of a night. But Julius Randle and Quickly and everybody, they had a well-rounded game, so good job for the Knicks. As far as the liquid props are concerned, I myself cashed again yesterday, so I'm very happy about that. Like I said, I take usually the top 4, top 5. Now that the app has been rejuvenated, you could scroll for days with prop bets, so you can mess around with a lot of stuff. I messed around with the top 4, and guess what? Didn't lose a dime. Giannis was set at 33 yesterday. He gets himself 36 and 10, or 11. So he had himself a night, as he always does. I mean, the guy is just one of the best players in the game.
Have you shorted any of these?
I have not. I'm a points guy. I said it. I'm
looking for points.
On the solo show, when I was here the other day by myself, I said, I'm rooting for points here. I'm not one of those guys like, well, I hope he has an off night.
I love betting unders.
I know you. Well, Thursday Night Football, we were slapping unders.
I guess when I'm rooting for a player, though, I'm not really. If I'm betting a prop, I'm usually trying to see somebody hit something. I'm not taking the under unless there's really good value there.
So he gets 36 of his 33. Then Booker, I didn't lose any money. It was set at 30. I lost a couple cents here, but he hits 30. So he hits his number dead on. Anthony Davis, AD, had himself a night. He scores 35. He was set at 27. And, of course, the Joker was set at 26, and he just hit that one last bucket that I needed. He gets 28. So, obviously, keep your eyes all over the liquid prop bets. They drop them every night. There's now penny stocks over there on the market. You can differentiate between sports a lot easier than you would when it first came out. So, keep your eyes over there. Keep your eyes peeled for some Mojo money, because that's exactly what I'm making. Just going back over the app real quick, just to see if there's anything else of movement purposes. DeAndre Swift. So with that, he went down 6% with that move from Montgomery. So people are seeing it. That Cortland Sutton one, kind of interesting. Maybe they think Judy's on the way out today. I think, listen, here's my bold prediction. I don't think it's going to happen. It's a pipe dream of mine personally. DeAndre Hopkins is going to get traded to the Cowboys today. I got a feeling that the Cowboys are going to pony up finally, maybe give a second round and a player for DeAndre Hopkins. Does it happen? Again, I'm wishing it. I don't see it happening, but there's a lot of rumors that Hopkins is going to be moved before the New Year League starts. So we'll see. Do us a favor right now.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. That'd be fantastic. Follow us right now on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Mojo, MOJO. And, of course, join the Discord. It is that's the top movers. The, whatchamacall? It's the daily conversation. I keep telling you guys that every day. Join the Discord. Plenty of stuff to get into each and every day here on the Mojo Market Report. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, if you're going to bet tonight, bet responsibly. Don't be a fool. Bet what you know, and that's sports, right? That's why we're doing this, right? So you know sports, bet it, but just tread lightly. So for Dave Sturchio, Chris Gucci, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here from our beautiful, brand new built hand. I was literally just hammering nails yesterday. Did you hear me in here? Look at the pillars. Everything was just, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. I'm getting good at this. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, everybody, on a Thursday. Bleacher Report just came up. Mitchell Robinson frustrated. Tired as F being out there for cardio. Go Knicks!